Arweave, ticker code AR, is one of the most unique cryptocurrencies we currently have in the crypto market, in that it's not trying to do smart contracts or any of these fancy stuff. It's actually trying to keep it pretty simple and deal with data storage. So we all know how important data is. Facebook loves your data, Google loves your data, Apple loves your data, everyone loves your data. Well, it's a very important resource, and it's one that Arweave is actually tapping into, in that it can actually store data permanently and decentralized. Pretty powerful stuff if you really think about it. If all these big multi-trillion dollar companies now are all about data, a crypto that's all about permanent data for a reasonable price should pique your interest. Let me explain with the fundamentals along with technical analysis of one of my favorite cryptocurrencies, Arweave. So you're able to put any kind of content that you'd like on the Arweave network. And what this will do is, like I said, it will store your data, whatever it would be. Well, you could put heaps of things. You could put like a journalist article, you could put a video, a photo, you could put your NFTs on there, you can put a ledger on there, you can put any sort of something that you'd love to track forever, you could put it on Arweave for a pretty reasonable price. What is that price? Well, according to the Arweave fee calculator here, it would cost you about 0.16, call it 24 Arweave rounding up, which is about, call it $8.50 US to store 1 GB of data. Obviously, this incentivizes a big use case, because with storage that is relatively expensive, considering it's 1 GB for one data to store indefinitely, but that's the key word, it's indefinitely. I consider it quite affordable if I could store my data that I'd really want forever for $8.50 per gigabyte. That'd be pretty interesting. But where it gets really good is with the institutions or companies. Companies have loads of data, heaps of data. If they wanted to store it permanently in a secure way, they would use Arweave. And who's the biggest player in that? Well, if you look at my tab, it's actually Solana. So Solana's actually put its entire ledger on Arweave, and we all know how big Solana is, hopefully by now. So when you've got Solana, who's done a fantastic job of being the biggest layer one aside from Ethereum at this point in terms of market cap, and they're partnering with Arweave to store all of their ledger transactions, that's incredible. That's huge. That alone is going to cause a lot of demand for Arweave, and that's just one key player in Arweave. And in terms of its tokenomics, Arweave has 66 million total AR, with 55 million AR totally currently minted. So if you think about it, 66 million tokens is not actually that much. Considering we're dealing with data storage here, it's going to be quite competitive to take Arweave away from other people, and it's going to increase the bidding price quite substantially, given the growth of cryptocurrency and the important reliance of data storage. And again, guys, I want to emphasize decentralized and permanent. So you just pay one upfront fee and it's there forever, and it can never be taken down. The other thing about Arweave is its growth. Now, I've been following Arweave's Twitter for quite a while here, and this is Sam Williams. He's one of the founders of Arweave, and he's basically said that over the past year, we've had more than a 50x on more usage than last year. And I can't go through all of his Twitter, but he's basically consistently every month shown that every year's just Arweave's been topping all these top all-time highs in terms of its use case. It's taking millions of transactions now at this point, and today alone it had 2,191,612 transactions stored on Arweave today alone, which is just huge. That's massive. That's a lot of use case. Now let's have a look at the numbers. Looking at Coin Codex, where I ping everything to its Ethereum value, and I compare all these coins to Ethereum. It's just a great way to initially screen for my cryptocurrencies. So let's have a look at Arweave and where it currently ranks. Basically, I'm just looking for a lot of green. Any cryptocurrency that is mainly green, like Sandbox, no surprise, it's outperforming Ethereum. It's something I would have a look into. So let's have a look at Arweave. And then we have Arweave ranked 68 on market cap, and look at that. Doesn't surprise me at all. Outperformed Ethereum consistently. 260%, 1 year to change, 340%. Outperformed Ethereum in the year to date, 84% in 6 months. In the last 3 months, it's underperformed against Ethereum by negative 2.28%. Negligible last month, 1.1%. Last 7 days, 40.65%. It's outperformed Ethereum, which is pretty exciting stuff. So it's something maybe that you want to have a look into in the charts. Let's go into the charts and have a deeper look. Now, what tipped me off with Arweave is you can see here, I keep an eye on some of my cryptos that I really like. I keep them on my right-hand panel. And I was just seeing Arweave consistently been putting these very high percentages while a lot of cryptos were bleeding. Some cryptos were in red, a lot of them were in red, but Arweave was actually doing quite well. And I was actually keeping an eye on Arweave for a while, because what I was looking for was for us to break this trend. I wanted us to get back to this 50% mark. And when I saw that in one day we went up 26.5% in one day, I was really looking at us getting to this red line here. Now, using my Pizzino again, fib tool, once coins are crossing from the red or on the red exactly, That's a point to really look into. And I was really interested to see Arweave. So not only did we break trend, what if we zoom in a bit, we can see that Arweave barely closed right above its 50% at $49 American, call it. And that initially was when I was actually looking at Arweave. I wanted to see how it would react the next day. Were we going to get rejected at 50% or could we sustain it? And not much volume, not much movement in price. It looked pretty good. And then we had the confirmed breakout at 16.43%, maintaining it. And again, if you want more confirmation and you want to wait an extra day, let's see how we act on the next 50% on the next day and how it's going to react on the 50%. No worries, you had it there, down day 9.6%, but we didn't break our 50%. We stayed right on it. We barely, almost touched it, tested a bit beautifully, and we're up already another 9.6% for today. And you can just see the highs are getting higher, big volume coming in, big price action coming in. Arweave's looking like it's ready for a nice, good primed run very, very soon. So what are my predictions with Arweave? Well, we have a look at my RSI tool. We know that cryptocurrencies do like to touch 70 on the RSI. Look at that. If you saw that 70 on the RSI, you would have secured yourself some big profits. And we can see Arweave has actually come a long way from where it was early on. It just had a massive growth. And you could almost consider this whole area a nice, good accumulation zone. But 70 on the RSI takes you to $78.53, which I would consider pretty reasonable because that doesn't take Arweave much higher from where it currently is. It takes it to about a 42% increase from where it currently is, which is pretty reasonable to expect because if you look at our RSI tool, you can see that we're clearly on the uptrend and ready to go. If I put 80 on my RSI, you can see that takes Arweave to $113.94. And it's not to say Arweave can't hit 80 on the RSI. It's still pretty low on the market cap, still has a bit of room in it, has a good use case. And look at that, we actually touched 80 on the RSI a few times in August when we had that massive run up. And that would take Arweave to about a 100% increase from where it currently is at the moment. And better yet, it's actually possible for Arweave to go 90 on the RSI because we actually did touch pretty much 90 on the RSI on the 31st of August when we had that massive volume and that massive bar on that day. And that would take Arweave to $220.15, which would be a 288% increase from where it currently is. It's a pretty safe way to make pretty good gains, I reckon, and Arweave is probably one of the few cryptocurrencies I can pretty much confidently say will be around for a long time, have incredible gains, and will probably be in the top 20 market cap, I think, in a relatively short amount of time. This is one of the few cryptocurrencies I myself, not financial advice, don't even have a stop loss for because I really believe in this cryptocurrency. In the long run, it has great fundamentals, it has great technicals, it has a very good bright future ahead of it, and I love it because it's doing its own thing with a very important resource such as data storage. That's going to do it for today's video. Then I will see you on the next video.